went by, away from them, and no one can see me now. I'm miles above you, don't care what they're seeing below, 'cause I'm miles above, I'm miles above you. Miles above you.
We had a fantastic sail coming out of the inland sea. We passed Provezza, came down through the Lefkas Canal, down to Abaliki. We spent one night in Abaliki, then across to Calamos. Calamos, we spent a couple of nights there sitting out some relatively strong wind before leaving to Vati in Ithaca. We wanted to take a bit of a spin around Ithaca. We headed back up to the church anchorage and around the northern tip of Ithaca towards the beach of Polis. And you join us here as we are sailing out of the inland sea.
Sailing? You fool! Nobody sails in the bed.
We left the islands here. Northwesterly wind, so we probably motored to here where we got our sails hoisted. We were then on port tack to here. Starboard tack took us up into this bay here. And then another tack on port up into this point, and then up to here, where it became a little bit more interesting because it's actually quite shallow, and we went pretty close to that sandbar just there. But we were pretty determined to sail all of the way to this anchorage, which we did.
Come on, here. Come sit here. Oh, our little sea dog. No, no. You can't get off. See, this is what we have to contend with. Sit down. Sit. Sit. Oh. And we also have lots of these little funky things. We're not quite sure what that is. We think there's some sort of eggs, but they were in our anchor chain. Here we have our salty sea dog.
got this, right? We're Bond yacht crew, they not know who we are. James Bond employed us for a reason, right? Cool. Didn't want to look like you were shit. So, the dog's just slid across the cockpit. Poor Nelson. Seven boats tacked as well now. And that is going faster than us. Exactly. What?
Pinching again. What angle are you at now?
45. I want to come downwind a bit more, we'll pick up more speed, but I'm just trying to stay up well upwind of those guys in the sunsail boat. No pressure, John.
I won't start filming yet.
No pressure, but it's pretty shallow
It's quite shallow, John.
and rocky.
Utterly shallow.
They're going in, Nat. They're going in. They're going in.
Guy coming in.
It's nice, isn't it?
Great Mimsel disembarkation.
That's good. Yeah, I like the way she leapt out. It does say Wi-Fi, showers, laundry, ice,
For nearly a week.
cold drinks, beer. What more could you ask for?
Cold beer.
Cowboys on quad bikes. The following day we moved on to Calamos. We had visited here before early in the season, but we never went into the harbour. We've been told that George's Taverna is exceedingly good and that he's the one that organises most of the berthing in the harbour, which he does. Unfortunately, he crams as many boats as he possibly can into as small a space as is humanly possible, which leads to a lot of crossed anchor chains. With a lot of these charter boats trying to get away at the same time to make the most of their day, as you would if you were renting a boat, we decided to stay a little bit later as to avoid all of the morning rush, which was a good choice, but we did end up helping other boats to escape.
And just in case there isn't enough carnage, the powerboat decides to leave as well.
Beating to windward. So this place is called Polis in Greece, on Ithaca specifically. Not a great night. There was a raft of boats that came in, charter fleet, and they all tied up in a nice little daisy chain. So they all backed up to each other, maybe 12 or 14 boats. And late in the evening, when the wind picked up, that daisy chain started to fall apart. So then there were 14 boats trying to desperately anchor in the failing light on top of everybody else. So it wasn't very restful. And now this morning, strong katabatic winds coming down off the hills, and everyone's trying to leave, so it was a little bit chaotic leaving as well. But our anchors are up. We were on our main anchor and 2 kedge anchors to stop us moving around, which worked quite well, as it has done before. And we're leaving. So we were anchored in Polis beach, which is on Ithaca, with intentions of heading down to Agia Ephemia and the pretty little harbour in Agia Ephemia. We had been monitoring a strong wind forecast which had grown and was getting larger and was heading our way from the African coast, and it became evident that we needed to change our plans. The centre of the storm was now going to pass directly over where we had intended staying. It seemed to me that the further north we were, the safer it would be. So instead of heading down to Ag Ephemia, we went north, and we went back up towards Tranquil Bay and Vliho. We had hoped this storm would change its path, it would head a different way, but that wasn't to be. And that plan soon evolved. We're heading back into Medicane. We put the blocks down, we put the chains down, kind of. We can add extra chains and blocks and stuff down to strengthen our position. And Vliho is, for once in its lifetime, Vliho is emptying. Normally everyone comes here to avoid a storm. This time everybody is apparently leaving. Currently behind us there are 4, maybe 5 boats on the move. We don't know where they're going. The suggestion from a lot of people is to head north. If you get up to the northern edge of Corfu, the wind speed is less. It's like 50 knots in the current forecast. The wind's due to be with us tomorrow at some point, probably late afternoon. Comes in from the south and it's going to veer to the west and then eventually come northerly.
Thunder and lightning and the rain starts tomorrow, and then by Friday the big stuff happens. So we're running.
Run Forrest, run! Fortunately or unfortunately, we've actually set out a Medicane once before in La Spezia in northern Italy. We again had gone into a marina to avoid 40 knots of wind, and we're hit with 96 knots of wind. Take a look, see. We got sail out. We got fucking sail. I think anybody that's ever been through an event like this one in northern Italy, where we were hit with 96 knots of wind and 14-metre waves that completely destroyed Rapallo Marina. I think once you have an understanding of those forces of nature, you take them a lot more seriously. And that's exactly what we were doing with this new Medicane in 2020, taking it very seriously. Having sat through 96 knots of wind in La Spezia, we were ahead of the game. So we added additional ground lines, we added extra stern lines, we removed all of our canvas work. Anything that could catch the wind was either lashed down or taken off. With the boat fully prepared, we sat back and we monitored the progress of this storm. It's around 4 AM now. We're currently getting gusts up to about 40, maybe 50 knots. I'm glad we put the extra ground line down. That's taking all the strain. Winds from the east, so it's pushing us back towards the wall. We're okay for the moment. The distance between the back of the boat and the wall is pretty good, but if needs be, I'll run us in gear just to keep us away from the dock.
Everyone seems alright at the moment. It's pretty nasty out.
Everybody in the marina got through that night without any damage to their vessels that I'm aware of. And the following morning, we still had a forecast of 93 knots was the peak. So we were all bracing, ready for impact. We fully expected the storm to get worse. Fortunately for us, the storm tracked slightly south of our location. Unfortunately for others, it went straight into the places that we had left. And over the next few days on social media feeds, it became evident just how bad some of those places were hit by these storms. And we really do think ourselves quite lucky that we managed to avoid the worst of this. My heart goes out to people that lost boats, that lost property, lost businesses, and to the few people that lost their lives. Anchor watch.
Passed over us, all of this lot. And this is new, and there's a few new ones there.